Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We know everybody has been having a very long nights and very hard days, and we don't take for granted the fact that you're joining us and deciding to take a break and deciding to learn something new. We hope you get out of this session with a few new things or maybe some insights in working with Copilot in Word, PDF, and Outlook. So my name is Cynthia. I'm part of Virtual TAO inside the Center for Innovation in Teaching and Learning, the דיקנט לחדשנות. Today we'll be speaking in English also so we can be accessible for other lecturers that prefer English. I myself. In case we have any sirens, I'm in the north, so if we have any sirens here, we'll stop. In case you have any sirens, of course, please go to a safe place. We're in the middle of the war, and safety and it's our priority. So don't worry, everything will be recorded and you receive all the materials. So in the next half an hour, we'll be focusing on how you can use Copilot inside the university for efficiency. Copilot can be used inside Office apps, several of them. We'll be focusing on a few of them. So you can work better and you don't have to focus so much on bureaucracy. You can focus more on your teaching or your research. So in the first 15 minutes, we'll present you a few use cases and a few possibilities. And in the other 15 minutes, we'll have time for questions and experimentation, and we can chat a bit more about the possibilities. So I'll have here also Rinat answering questions in the chat for the first 15 minutes, and then we'll open microphone so you can ask and we can have a good conversation. So the key benefits of using Copilot at the university. I imagine most of you already use other LLMs or other chats. The benefit of using Copilot is that we have security and privacy of the university license. Tel Aviv University has a license with Microsoft that has the enterprise data privacy and data protection. So the data you upload is not used to train Copilot, and you can be sure to upload. Of course, you shouldn't upload sensitive data like students' IDs, but other than that, you can feel safe. The other benefit that we'll be exploring today is that Copilot is fully integrated into Windows. So you can see it in the side, in Outlook, in Word, also in PowerPoint, in other apps, and you don't have to download it or you don't have to get inside of it to log in to get a registration. Everything is already included in what you already have. Finally, because it's already fully integrated, it has context awareness. So all the content you have open in the window, Copilot can read it and can interpret it and can edit, so you don't need to copy paste it into that. Some observations before we continue. As we know, with artificial intelligence, it's also important to be aware of the information that is given. It can be fictitious, it can be inaccurate, so you need to make sure to read everything. We also know that Copilot is not the strongest model. It actually uses the GPT model, but the benefit that it is already secure and inside Windows can help you with some basic things. And the Copilot license at the university does not include all functionalities and all features in Copilot. So if you start using it and you like it, you can also check out the Pro version, where it's even more integrated. So, how to access Copilot? I imagine you've seen it already in your computer. In mine, you can see here on the bottom, you already have the Copilot. This is how the computer came. You also have it integrated in the apps. For example, in Outlook, in Word, in Edge, you have it on the right top. In English, at least, when you have it in Hebrew, it's on the other side. And if you're using Mac or you don't have these windows in your computer, you can also access through my Office 365 web. We'll be sending the link in the chat. Also, every chat you talk to Copilot will be stored in Copilot. We'll see that, so you can keep the conversation going. So, Copilot in Outlook. You can use it for efficiency, for understanding better the content, for drafting and proofreading, for summarizing. For me, I found it really useful. So here, for example, I go into my Outlook. I made a special folder for it. So we have some of the latest announcement we have. It became so much. So for example, here we can just click on summarize, this button here. It will think a bit and it will summarize it in English. Summarizing the key points. I don't need to go into Office until Sunday. So I don't have to read the whole email. I see here that the information is accurate. So if you also have a long thread and you need to understand what's going on, you can also ask, for example, here I have a thread I had with Miri and Nortal from our team about the feedback. I can click here to start a new chat and ask, what are my next actions based on this thread? I need to add the QI, I already did, that's good. Update the terminology, I already did. I forgot to say, now in English, our Pinata Bina, we translated that as AI Spotlight. So Copilot can really help you summarize and know what to do. Also, you can draft messages in English or in Hebrew or whatever language you feel more comfortable with, and it will help you. And everything, the downside is that everything you talk here in the Copilot, you need to copy paste it into the email. You can also ask questions, other questions that you're used to in other chats, other LLMs. You can ask it to read attachments. It also reads attachments, to translate, to proofread. It can be really useful when responding to emails. Here I have a video. I won't be. In Word, we have the same feature as you can see it on next to Word. In Word, you can also use it to rewrite, to clarify, to brainstorm, to review, to create. The example I have here is an assignment. In this example, I'm teaching a class, a first-year class about scientific writing, for example, and I just started writing the assignment instructions, and I want Copilot to help me make it a little bit better. So I don't waste time. I have some prompts I already did. So for example, here I'll ask it to rewrite the instructions and keep the requirements unchanged. It reads whatever is in the Word document. It keeps the requirement that it's a 2-page introduction. If I'll tell it what's my course, it will, of course, do a better job. I now can keep talking to it and ask, for example, for a grading rubric. So I also have a prompt for that. And as I said before, all chats are stored in your account. So if, for example, here it's not the most comfortable way of seeing, because it isn't when there is a table, for example, you can click on the 3 dots and open in the Copilot app. In my computer, it will open on the web. And I can also open it here on my Copilot app itself. It will appear here soon on my conversations. I can click here and I can keep talking to Copilot. So you can see that it's already using the source I use, and I can even add more sources. I can add more things as you would with other LLMs. Finally, the last thing I'm going to be showing today is how to use Copilot in Edge. Edge is Microsoft's browser, used to be Internet Explorer a few years ago, if other people remember. Copilot is also available inside Edge, so for websites also. According to some verifications I did on websites, it doesn't always work, but you can also try. The innovation here is that you can open PDFs on Edge. For example, here I have a thesis, and I'll click on Open with Edge. It's good also in your computer when you don't have Acrobat Reader. The chat here, I started before talking to Copilot about Student Guide to Artificial Intelligence, but let's start from zero. Let's start from scratch. Here, start a new chat. I'll close it for you guys to see. You see here we have the chat icon. You click on it. How can I help? We have this thesis. What are the key findings in the thesis, and how it affects Hebrew education. So this thesis is about the computational skills when Olim Chadashim are learning Hebrew. Sometimes it does this, and I can say the thesis is opened on the window. It is challenging me. And now it understands. So it says here Copilot is using browser content to answer. That's exactly what we want. Thank you, Copilot. You can see the key findings. I use this thesis because it's mine, so I can know that the results are correct. So yes, I did 14 interviews. This is some of the findings I had. So we have all the data here. We can also ask it to answer me again a little bit more summarized. We can create a presentation. We can create questions for students. We can keep talking like you would with other chats. The same example. So to summarize, we've seen now how Copilot can be integrated into Office, Outlook, Word, and Edge, for example, for PDFs. It's important for you to know that it can also be used for other apps. We showed some of the advantages of using LLMs right inside Office, and that all chats are stored and can be opened in Copilot app. So if you'll be kind and fill up a feedback form, we would be happy to know what you think and whatever we can improve. We have a Hebrew one and an English one.